Hello, good evening. I poured up a Diet Coke at 10:30. It's now 10:50 and there's no end in sight. I hope I can fall asleep. I'm going to pour more for this video cuz why wouldn't I? Here are my thoughts this evening. And it is self-reflection over anything and may be applicable to your life in some way. But my most recent video I talked about the experience I had teaching high school and some of the favorite and least favorite parts of teaching. And the least favorite things dealt with really, I don't want to ruin that video. I would encourage you to go watch it if you haven't seen it. But my emotions and how invested I was a piece of the downfall, was why I didn't fit well in that job. Now that I am doing this as a job, and you may look at this channel and say, huh? You have this many subscribers and this is your job? Okay, I have another YouTube channel that I would call it's becoming successful. I have seen growth, I have seen monetary impacts, I have optimism for it. This channel is just one on the side. That one is sports related, this one's just life related, like this video, or advice related, or podcast. I don't know what this channel is, and that's the point of this channel. There's no rules. As I'm pursuing this and generally tolerating it more than I was teaching in terms of just like my attitude, there are still things about this that are stressful. And so here's an example of one today. And I'll stop talking with my hands now because I made a video this morning. I was excited to make it. I had fun making it. It was enjoyable to think up. It was enjoyable to do. It was a skit about wildcard weekend for football. Basically, it was like a round table of quarterbacks from this weekend talking about their experiences. I did it in what I thought was a funny way. It was more artistic. It was skittish. Skittish. It was skittish. Sorry, I'm going to calm down. It's the Diet Coke. And I thought it was going to do well. When I posted that video, I posted it and I said, this video is going to do well. And maybe that's my own fault for having that expectation or for putting it into that box before I had even sent it out into the world. When I was kind of rehashing today, at the end of the day, at 10:30, I kind of had forgotten about that TikTok, but I was obsessed with it all day. Like I was checking it 3 and 4 times throughout the day to see how well it was doing, and it wasn't doing as well as I thought it would be doing. Okay, it's got like 1,200 views based on what I've seen from my channel, okay, and what I think people like. That was my prediction. That was my hope, and it flopped, and it had me thinking, what does that mean for the context of this journey, for the YouTube journey? If you always have an expectation about how a video is going to perform, and then it doesn't, how many of those videos do you have to make before you're just like, yeah, I'm done with this? Like, it's not worth it. And because in some ways, I think that's how people give up. Right, they try so many things that they think are going to work. That's one of the reasons, right? Obviously, time and like there's a lot of reasons, but that is one of them. And I think that would be, I guess we'll put it this way. That would be the reason that I would stop. If I am not able to do this, and the money, the pressure of like survival, right? I am fortunate to have a wife that works. Like money is okay right now, and that's a blessing. But when does this journey stop for me, right? When that pressure says I cannot compete with the other people making content in a way for your time, for advertisers, etc. That's an exhausting mentality to approach every video where I think if this fails, you failed. If this fails, you're one step closer. Every day that your videos aren't getting thousands and hundreds of views and you're growing is the day closer that you will have to go do what you don't want to do, or not pursue your passion, or not do what you love. Like, I want this to work worse than anything I've ever wanted to work on the level of this, right? Like, I'm not saying like this is bigger than my family. I'm going to take care of them first, and that's why this has a chance to stop. Because if I am in a position, I'm getting deep in here, but red means no rules. If I'm in a position where my family's quality of life is at risk because I am pursuing a YouTube dream, I will stop. Family, my wife and my daughter rank higher than YouTube. I don't know what else is above that. Okay, that's the perspective of how much this means to me. I think the relationship that I had with this video today is negative, because that's putting a lot of unnecessary pressure on myself that already exists. And what does ruminating over a failed video do? Because here's the kicker. I posted a video later today that I made in probably 5 minutes. I gave it no thought. Like skit video, hours worth of work. This video, 5 minutes worth of work. Enjoyable for different ways, right? But this one was more artistic. This one was more just me goofing, right? And the me goofing one outperformed this one. Right? And so there's this tension where I don't think about the good performing video. I don't stop and say, okay, I have 2 videos today. One that did well, one that did not do well. And there are probably multiple ways of thinking about this, but the 2 most basic binary ways of approaching this is saying, this one did well. Why? Why did this video do what I am hoping for? Not hoping for on this video, the skit video, right? It did what I was hoping for in the skit video on this. So what was good about this? Why did this work? And was it me? Was it other factors? Was it hashtag? Like this is the type of thinking that I have to do. The time of day that I posted. What if I would have posted the skit video a little later in the day, right? Like all of these decisions matter. So while I hated teaching because I was faced with decision after decision, choice after choice after choice, just on my toes constantly, you never know what's going to happen. This is a little bit more systematic, but it has the capability of packing the same punch. Coke break. It comes back to, do I look at the good of this video, or do I ruminate on why this failed? And I don't know even how to take my own advice on that. I don't even know if looking at the good is a viable strategy, but I think it would be a healthier strategy. Because if I open those 2 videos and I say, okay, this one performed better than this one, why? Why was that good? Like, what did I do well here? What can I replicate in this video? How can I do this again, maybe in a different way? Does it have the same effect? What if I posted another skit, right, at the same time of this skit? Is it the skit that's working? Can I make a successful skit? Right? Like that kind of a thing. Because I think what I would be tempted to do, and what tempts me on the bad video, is I look at that and I say, that was a bad video, and I focus on that and I say, I can't do skits anymore because they don't work. Well, maybe that's not the case. Maybe this video only worked. Yeah, maybe that's what I need to do. And I think I'm scared because I've found that the style of video I posted second that did well always does well. It's like the rankings video. People love a rankings video. People love graphics flashing and you ordering them, whatever. So I guess I could do more content like that, but I don't get to express anything, right? There's none of me in that. There might be, but it's hard to explain. It's less art. It's less work, but it does better. And that maybe that's the cognitive dissonance that I'm facing, is that these things that are taking more time should be the things that are working. And then this is maybe the last piece. The question is, which do I enjoy more? What am I seeking at the end? Do I want to make a skit and have the art? I mean, ultimately, I want to do that, and I want it to be loved, and it's not, right? It's like doing something cheap, people love it. Doing something more authentic, creative, people didn't catch on. And again, you may be watching this like, it's one video, try it again. That's exactly what I need to do. But I'm giving you a piece of me here, saying that I don't often try again if something fails. If at first you don't succeed, try and try again. No. If at first you don't succeed, stop. Try something else. That's the way I look at it. And maybe I need to go back to that. If at first you don't, if it, if at first you don't fricassee, fry and fry a hen. What book is that from? I read that in fifth grade, sitting on the carpet, fifth grade. It wasn't sustained silent reading. It was like class reading, where everybody sat on the carpet and read. Let me see what book that's from. I have no idea. If at first you don't fricassee, fry and fry a hen. Caddy Woodlawn. How many of you knew that? If you knew that in the chat, good for you. Caddy Woodlawn. Is that a classic? How many copies of Caddy Woodlawn have been sold? While there's no exact publicly available number of Caddy Woodlawn copies sold, it's considered a classic children's book with millions. It has a Newbery Medal. Okay, so it's fairly 1936. That's an old book. Story setting 1860s in the Civil War. Okay. So we're just going to keep grinding. And I think if I have a failed video, it just means I need to try and try again. Maybe that's the secret to it all.